That's basically this film, marbles and semen. Hey guys, how's it going? Dudey here. I'm back with another video. So, I've been focusing on movies recently, haven't I? And documentaries and things like that. Well, when I did my horror movie tier list the other week, one comment really stuck out for me, and it was that I missed The Girl on the Third Floor and how amazing this film apparently was. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out on a whim and I'm going to let the chat dictate what I watch. So me and Maya watched A Girl on the Third Floor, and oh my goodness, was that a mistake, because it is the worst horror film I have ever seen in my entire life. So bad that I thought I would actually review it for its own standalone video, which is what this is right here. So basically today I'm gonna try and make A Girl on the Third Floor sound as entertaining as possible as I go through the synopsis of the film. That sounds like something that you'll enjoy. Stick around. Here we go. A Girl on the Third Floor. Right, first of all, it stars WWE wrestler and UFC fighter, if you can call him that, CM Punk. So CM Punk, I believe, in his first lead acting role. I don't know how many he's going to get after this, but then again, to give him the benefit of the doubt, Dwayne Johnson was a terrible actor when he first started out. Now he's decent, so maybe it's just the same. Maybe we just need to give CM Punk some time. John Cena is about halfway to being okay, so maybe with these wrestlers we do just need to give them time. But yeah, so CM Punk is your protagonist, so make of that what you will. And the premise is CM Punk's character, who for the duration of this video I will call CM Punk, has bought an old dilapidated house for him and his wife, who is pregnant, and their dog. If you're attached to dogs, oh dear, this video might upset you a little bit. So, CM Punk rocks up to the house, okay? The dog does a lap around the house and goes upstairs while CM Punk investigates to see what work needs to be done. He's there a few weeks before his wife to get all the renovation done to make it the perfect castle for his queen, right? And all of a sudden, CM Punk is presented with a giant, almost black tar oozing out of one of the walls. Meanwhile, the dog, yeah, is licking up a puddle that it found upstairs in the bedroom of blood and seemingly semen. Not the first time semen will be seen or mentioned in this video. So anyway, CM Punk is looking at this black ooze in the wall. Now, if you see an unexplained substance that you don't know what it is, what is the first thing that you do? Ram your hand into it. Of course you do. That's just the natural process in your mind for what you do for something that could potentially be corrosive. And to be honest, this is a theme throughout the movie. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's a spot here that keeps robbing my autofocus. Is it a spooky ghost, or do I need a new camera? Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, so he keeps sticking his hand in stuff, right? That is a theme throughout the movie. This man loves putting holes in things and sticking his hand in unexplained slimes. So he knocks a few holes in this wall where the black corrosive ooze was coming out of, and he puts in a drywall, right? And for someone that openly admits he is doing this off the top of his head and learning from YouTube videos, he does a great job. But his brand new drill inexplicably wears out a battery, right? And we get this really random flip out scene where out of nowhere it's like calm, and then it's just like, oh, motherfucking drill, fuck shit, and he throws the drill across the floor under a plug socket where he's about to plug it in to charge the drill. Semen oozes from the plug socket. I'm going to spoil this movie from the first scene, okay? Because I feel like this is important. Semen coming out of every orifice in this film, including the plug socket, is never explained, ever. Anyway, being CM Punk, he just wipes the semen away from the plug socket and just plugs the drill in and continues with his work. There is then a very random, weird scene. It's basically a guy turns up just to give exposition on the main character. It's this lawyer who is unbelievably rude to CM Punk and just gives a little background, of which, to be honest, I've seen this film twice, by the way. I watched it once and I thought, oh my god, this is awful. I watched it this morning to make notes on it for this video today. I can't even remember what the guy said, and you could argue that yes, I should have made notes on that, but the dialogue was so fucking awful. I thought, right, he's literally just here to give a bit of exposition to say that basically CM Punk is a piece of shit and will probably cheat on his wife and clearly relies on his wife's money to survive, right? We get it, okay. But for a weird lawyer slash may have even been an estate agent to just rock up and just start digging at CM Punk just made no sense whatsoever. But anyway, basically the script is bloody awful. CM Punk is hungry and thirsty. He's only got a few beers at home, so where does he go? He goes to the bar, which has a random bowling alley in the bar. I guess that could be a thing in America. Hell, it could even be a thing here. But yeah, he goes to a random bar where there is a guy who can't act, bless him, and he gives him some food. He gives him bangers, mash, gravy, and peas, of which CM Punk says isn't very nice. But he tells him that basically he's moved into this certain house on the street, to which the barman, knowing all the context, I'm going to give you all of the context behind why he says this. The tone in which he says it makes literally zero sense. He screams at him, "Are you Q-U-E-E-R?" I don't know if I can say that in a video. So, "Are you that?" Right? But aggressively, as if to be like this bad thing to be like, you know, you shouldn't be like that. That's the aggression that he brings for that line. The context behind why he's saying that, right, is because straight guys don't tend to survive too long in that house. Used to be a brothel back in the day. So literally the context was, oh, by the way, straight guys tend to be killed in that house. He decided to address that point by vehemently screaming at the guy, asking if he is a homosexual. It just made no sense when he could have been like, by the way, I've noticed as I've lived here all my life, straight guys tend to die in that building. But also I have to say, it's never actually explicitly mentioned that gay gentlemen have lived in that house and have survived. So, I don't know, maybe it's just a bit of a stretch that he leapt to. But yeah, that whole scene just blew my mind. I was just like, what the fuck just happened? Anyway, back to the renovation. Yeah, and CM Punk randomly hits pipes with a mallet under the sink. Not actually explained why he's doing that. And of course, he breaks a pipe and brown gunk just spurts all over him in his mouth and stuff, so he exits the house to wash it off on the tap outside, where he meets a random woman standing in his back garden. Never addresses the fact that it's a random woman stood in his back garden, instead proceeds to flirt with her before re-entering the house to clean up the mess he's made. But what really pissed me off was that he didn't actually clean any of the brown shit off of himself. He just kind of went outside, wiped his face a little bit under the tap, chatted to the girl, then went back inside, never actually finished cleaning up to go and clean up. That just really annoyed me. I don't know why. He then goes back to the pipe that he smashed with a mallet, put his hand in there and pulls down a marble. By the way, I forgot, earlier in the film when the dog was licking up the bloody semen, he also eats a random marble, right? CM Punk finds a marble in the pipe. They're never really explained either, but they do play a big role, the marbles. But yeah, so he finds a marble in the pipe that he was knocking about. Now for my favourite scene. Okay, so this guy's bought a house to renovate, yeah? Every wall in this house, some of the floors, have blood, semen, gunk, weird oozing shit coming out of the walls, right? Out of all the pipes, out of all of the plug sockets, yeah? He wants to have a shower. So first of all, what he does is really weird. He stands under the shower and turns it on. I'm pretty sure normal people turn on the shower then walk into it. But knowing the history of this house and what comes out of orifices, in this house, you probably wouldn't risk it. He stands under there for like a solid couple of seconds whilst all the pipes rattle, and then would you believe it, the guy gets absolutely bukkakered. One thing that I did notice which was really funny is his sweat-stained shirts from how hard he's been working. You can literally see where the costume designer has literally just gone like that with a finger, because they're like individual fingerprints for sweat. It was bad. The sound editing in this film is awful as well. There's footsteps that don't match up. There's sound effects that just don't occur when they should. It's very, I don't know how whoever did the sound on this film that has ended up on Netflix has a job when you're that bad at it. Anyway, the ghost girl returns with a spliff. CM Punk invites her in, of course he does. They look around the house, he shows her the handiwork that he's been doing. They go to the bedroom, and of course, out of nowhere, they have sex. Meanwhile, whilst they're having sex, the dog is shut out of the bedroom, and the dog is looking at a ghost dancing in another room. Ooh, spooky ghosts. The lady proceeds to leave, and the dog looks at CM Punk, and CM Punk turns around and says, "Don't look at me like that. I've earned that." No remorse for cheating on his pregnant wife whatsoever. He just believes that he has earned that sexual experience for all his hard work of malleting pipes to fuck. All of a sudden there's a crash noise upstairs, so the dog and him go up to investigate. It was in the bedroom of which he was having sex with a woman, and it would appear that there is a viewing platform because the ceiling has fallen down. You can see there's a viewing platform above that bedroom, which is alluded to when it was a brothel, that people would go up there like a viewing platform and look down on the show that was going on down below. Safe to say that the wife, when seeing this on FaceTime, is really not happy about it and wants the ceiling put back. She's like desperate for the ceiling. It's really weird. It's like the only way that this film could put a sense of urgency in. Like, I need that ceiling fixed because there's a banister in the attic. That's pretty much the gist there. I don't understand the motivations behind CM Punk's character, because the next day the girl appears once more looking for round two, and he rejects her. He doesn't reject her because he's married and his wife is pregnant or anything like that. He rejects her because, and I quote, he has a laundry list of things to do before the pregnant wife shows up. So basically he's too busy to cheat on his wife that night. Mad. But then that night, the wife randomly shows up and starts doing sex stuff. You know, riding him, and then oh, it's flash and it's the other woman, then it flashes back and it's the wife again, it flashes back, it's the other woman, and then it flashes again, and there's this scary demon girl. The best way to describe it, even though I know I've got a picture of right now, is like an axe wound to the head, and then you put teeth along that axe wound, and you put like some random fucking geode stone in the wound, and that's the monster for this film. Again, I'm going to spoil it because I don't give a fuck, it's a shit film. That's never explained either. CM Punk wakes up, it was just a dream, of course it was, but there is now a marble on his chest. Look, it's gone again. Whoa. There is now a marble on his chest. Wow, how spooky. And he proceeds to eat the marble. That's never explained. Ever. At any point. Then a friend rocks up to help CM Punk fix the ceiling. They fix the ceiling. They go for drinks. More exposition is dumped. He tells the barman how CM Punk was the king of Chicago in the cringiest exchange I've ever heard in my fucking life. They go back. The next day they're working on stuff. He goes down to the basement. He gets killed by the girl who's been lingering around. The friend gets killed by the girl who's been lingering around. That's pretty juicy. She like hits him in the head with a pipe, and like his eyes like hanging off and stuff. And then he's trying to crawl out of the basement. She's following him, and then the weird demon girl's at the top of the stairs, and then the girl is like to the demon girl, well, are you just gonna stand there, or are you gonna help me, or some shit? And then that's the guy disappeared, pretty much. And then, oh yeah, CM Punk had an argument with him, so when he all of a sudden disappears, he feels like, oh no, my mate is in a mood with me, so he like texts him, and he receives a text back from Milo, I think it is, his friend. Spooky. Obviously the girl has stolen his phone and says it's all good. So CM Punk doesn't think any more of it. He's FaceTiming his wife, and there seems to be an intruder in the house. Oh, spooky. Who could that be? Of course, it is the girl. So CM Punk sets up cameras and stuff. Now, if you're a fan of dogs, if you're a dog lover, click off now or skip ahead, because, well, basically, 3, 2, 1, while CM Punk is asleep, the girl lures his dog to the tumble dryer, puts the dog in, and you can imagine what it looks like when CM Punk hears the rattling in the morning and he opens up the tumble dryer. Have to say, the most comical fake sick I've ever seen in my life. It's literally like they just got custard, put it around his mouth, and had him go bleh when he sees the dog in the tumble dryer. That really took away from what could be this film's only powerful emotional moment. He calls the cops. it's cops in a horror film, so obviously they don't believe him or take him seriously. So the cop leaves. There's more semen coming out of the plugs. Marble rolls down the stairs. That's basically this film, marbles and semen. And then who's rolled the marble towards him? Oh, it's the girl, who apparently is actually a ghost, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. And basically CM Punk lures her into the kitchen and kills her. If you can kill a ghost person, pulls her down into the basement in like a wrapped up sheet and stuff. And I just want to say, yeah, he puts her in the wall and he's just like chucking lye on her, L-Y-E. And in all the films and that, if you're ever disposing of a body or you got to hide a body and it's like in smelling range, they always throw lye on them. So I feel like, you know, if anyone ever purchases lye, I don't know what lye is for other than making corpses smell nice. So if someone come into a shop and bought a load of lye, pretty sure you can just straight up report them to the police. There's a quality bit, right, because obviously CM Punk is a bit stressed because he's just murdered someone. He has a go at his wife on FaceTime, right, hangs up on her and then beats the fuck out of his own kitchen, pulls a cupboard off of the wall, right, a cupboard door, lobs it against the wall, and I know for a fact this was not intentional, but they kept it in the film anyway. The door bounces off of the wall and smacks CM Punk square in the face. That's like my favourite moment in this film. There's then a noise upstairs, so he goes up into the attic to explore, and there's a hidden room, which apparently is where the demon axe wound girl was when the place was a brothel. Again, it doesn't ever explain what actually happened to her and turned her into what the fuck she is now. There's lots of marbles in the room, so it's like, oh, so it was that girl doing the marbles, righto. The next day, he gets one of them little cameras on the end of a stick, on the end of like a, you know, you can put into walls and under doors and stuff, and he's really like jostling it like this, right? It's jostling. But then when you see the camera, it's like really smooth in the wall. But he's like jostling like this outside and it's really smooth in the wall. And then obviously he sees the demon girl's face. So what he does is he runs round to where that wall would be and he starts smashing it in with a hammer. And there's like a heartbeat behind the wall, and every time he's hitting the wall, random semen is spurting out of floorboards and stuff, and it's just... it's all getting a bit crazy. The demon girl rocks up and actually attacks him with marbles. She gets marbles to roll towards him and then they like enter his skin. And then he does this on his leg, but I'll show it on my arm, right? Imagine I've got a marble under my skin rolling up this way, yeah? What I'll do with a Stanley knife that he has is I'll cut up here as it gets to it, so then it pops out, right? He goes behind the marble and cuts up all up his leg to try and catch this marble. So that is the most counterintuitive way to get a foreign object out of your body that I've ever seen in my entire life. Anyway, he's like trying to cut all this stuff out of him and he cuts himself up quite badly, and then she sends a shit ton of marbles on him. And then you can imagine he's probably dead. And then it cuts away. Right, it cuts away, yeah? And then the wife turns up to see her husband and her newly refurbished house, yeah? And I was imagining she'd rock up and then she'd see his dead body and then the film would end. Maybe a scream or something, or maybe then the girl kills her or something like that, right? No, for 20 minutes, then when you think the film is over, it then switches protagonist to the wife. She gets to the house, right? There's no one there, but then all of a sudden there's lots of people there, like the ghost girl that her husband cheated on her with, and then there's loads of people like in all old-fashioned dress and stuff in the house, and it turns out that they're ghosts from the brothel. She never questions any of this. She's just looking for her husband, right? It's so fucking random, and she's like going around, and she goes up into the attic, into like the viewing platform and stuff, and you see what was going on in the brothel bit and that. And then she runs out the house, I think, or passes out, I can't really remember. Goes and talks to the pastor across the road, as in a priest, not like an Italian food source. And then there's some random exposition and that, and then she goes back into the house and she instantly knows what wall to go to, hits a hole in the wall, finds the corpse of the demon weird girl, right? Inexplicable. Don't know how she worked out what wall it was behind. Don't know how she worked out that, you know, essentially by finding the corpse of the demon girl, this is literally just like The Ring, then the haunting should stop. So she found her corpse, buried her, I think. And then all the haunting stopped. And then it flashes forward. She's had her baby. The baby's in the crib in the house that was renovated. And then it looks up into the grate, and CM Punk is there, and says something like, "That's my girl," or some shit. Oh no, wait, sorry, I forgot. When she's running around the house and stuff, back when all the ghosts and shit are there, she actually bumps into CM Punk, who's like full on carved himself up and shit. And then she leaves the house or passes out, I can't remember. And then yeah, the priest, the wall, the baby, and then CM Punk's in a grate. It's the worst film I've ever seen in my life. It's the worst film I've ever seen in my entire life. Don't watch it. I've made this video today, hopefully to entertain you, and also so that you don't have to watch it. Whoever recommended that film in the comments, how dare you? If you could unsubscribe, that'd be wonderful. I know that. No, I'm joking. You know, you've just got a weird taste in movies. All right, but yeah. So a girl on the third floor, terrible. If you'd like me to do more of this kind of ending explained found flicks content, although I do feel like, you know, found flicks is like the king, and I am literally pretty much taking the piss out of his entire niche of work. I do apologise, I love your videos. If you'd like me to do some more stuff like this on films that are shite, then I will do, because it's a good way for me to watch crap and then get it out of my system. So here I am. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know down below. Hit that like button. Thank you so much. I'll see you very soon. Links are down below as always. Sweet one, geese. That autofocus keeps pissing off to the side. I don't know if it's a shadow or if it's a ghost. Whoa.